Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, the Total Stick Network is proud to present the Total Stick Cast. Now buckle up and enjoy the unscripted, unadulterated neurosis with your host, Paul Johnson!
That's right, welcome to the Total Stick Cast. My name's Paul Johnson. I'm a freelance writer, author, vlogger, and creator of the Total Stick Empire. You can find out more about me by going to everythingpaul.net. And just let me say to you, it's Season 2, motherfuckers! Woo! And joining me this season as my regular co-host, you know him from Season 1, the man, the myth, the Coca-Cola to my proverbial shot of Jack, it's Ryan Blair!
Well, I don't think I've ever had an intro like that, but I'll take it.
I know, thanks. I'm going to see if I can switch it up. I'm going to give you a different intro every week now.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. You might
yeah,
hurt your brain.
No doubt. Okay, so this is the first episode of the season and the last episode before Christmas. So we're going to be talking about a few things, but also going to be diving into a lot of Christmas-themed discussion today. So, yeah, it's going to be a packed full episode. So, Ryan, first, how are you doing?
I'm good. Nothing
You're
to
good?
complain about. Nothing, I live a pretty uneventful life, so, I got nothing to complain about.
Still rocking the crack house?
Still rocking the crack house, yeah, it's fantastic, and, I guess a new development with the crack house is the plumbing is buggered up, so my toilet doesn't flush.
Wow, well then.
Often.
Often. Wait,
Often.
So it sometimes flushes?
Yeah.
So you're playing flush and roulette?
Yeah, flush and roulette. I am. Absolutely, I am. So,
wow. Thankfully,
we haven't had any overflows because that's just not something that I believe I'm prepared to deal with.
No, I don't blame you. Not one bit. If you want to know more about Ryan's Crack House, you can check out the episodes from Season 1 that you probably haven't heard and that are gradually dripping out. So I'm going to speaking of gradually dripping out, look how it all ties together. Okay, anyways, yeah, so as far as Episode 1's concerned, listeners might have noticed that Episode 1 has sort of vanished / began to reappear. As you're looking for episodes from Season 1 of the Total Stickcast, they're going to be re-released gradually trickling out there as collections. So about 3 episodes condensed to an episode, and the pilot is in full tact, and a lot of interviews will be in one piece as well. A lot of the purpose for this is that, obviously, as you can tell, Shane is no longer with me, as I'm joined full-time by Ryan now, and a lot of time was spent last season sort of promoting projects and things that just never came to fruition or never occurred or are part of something completely different. So to spare you listening to all of that and ads for a Patreon campaign that isn't running at the moment and stuff like that, this was probably the best choice. So you can get more bang for your listening minute now with Season 1 episodes. So there we go.
I like banging.
Yeah, you like banging? That's good.
Yeah.
Just try not to do so while we're in the middle of filming the podcast, that's all. If I hear any heavy breathing, I'll know you're banging. Solo or in a duo, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know.
Or both at the same time.
Oh, God, I tried to figure out how that was possible, and I succeeded. Fuck, no. Okay. That's horrible. So, yeah. So you're fine. Everything's good on your end. You have a toilet that might be backing up. I, as a human toilet, backed up for the last 2 days. I've been tremendously. Human toilet. That means something totally different. I didn't think out that sentence. Okay. Anyways, that
could be taken by some of your listeners as something completely different.
Yeah, that means a lot of different things depending who you're talking to. I'm now full of shame and I'm blushing.
Yeah.
No. I've been morbidly sick for the last 2 days, so anybody who listens to my other program, the Happy News Podcast, will notice that did not come out today as scheduled, and that will be coming out over the next couple of days, because sadly I've been a broken human being for the last couple of days. Now I'm back up to about 75-80%, I'd say.
Well, to be fair, I think you're just generally a broken human being, but this time it was a little bit different.
But those are my emotions that generally make me a broken human being. This was my body.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, that's fine. There's two ways to be broken. Yeah. That's fair. And no matter how you're broken, we're glad you're listening. Okay, I don't know why I said that. I just thought it was a good thing to say. Well, I'm glad I'm better in time for Christmas. Have you ever been sick through Christmas?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. Honestly, I believe it's a pretty common thing. I mean, you get so many. There's so much more stress, so much more running around. There's people pile a lot on their plates this time of year, and you're out and people are out in the stores a lot more. So I think it's a pretty common thing that the illnesses are getting passed around, and I think year round the illnesses are out there, but you don't have the volume of people at restaurants, at stores, malls, etc. Right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know I have. Yeah, well, Christmas parties, yeah, absolutely. So I think there's just, there's a lot of germs that just, it's a lot easier to pass around this time of year. So I know I've had Christmases where I've been sick. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, really sick. Like, have you been laid up and just like Christmas happened in a different room while you were throwing up in a bathroom or bedroom? Like,
well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a diary to fall back on to go. Well, yeah, in 1986. But I mean, I'm 41 years old, so yeah, I know it's absolutely happened.
Okay, fair enough. I just figured it was bad enough. It would probably stick in the record of bad Christmases, like that was the time, like. I mean, I'm not as ancient as you, but I remember, I missed the New Year's because I was in the washroom throwing up. I missed, I remember things like that.
No, I don't. I've had shitty Christmases that had nothing to do with illness, so I mean, it's it's just one of those things.
Wow, that made me sad.
It's all right, man. You just, next time you see me, give me a hug.
Okay. Hopefully that makes both of us feel better.
I hope it will. I think it will.
Because a hug takes 4 arms. I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
You turned this really awkward now, so maybe we should just stop recording and call this an episode.
Turning things awkward is kind of what I do. I think if we were going to do that, I don't think this would be season 2.
We'd end up with just a whole season of like 6-minute episodes.
Yeah, there we go. Right up until Paul fucks it up and makes things awkward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, this morning, of course, today's the first day I've been able to move since Sunday night, late Sunday night. This morning, I went and did, listeners of the first season might remember me mentioning, I've done a few of these. I went and did a test of sorts for the university. So what this is since you asked, thank you. So what this is I've gone in and they actually pay you to do things like just basically answer questions. It's basically like sitting down and having a meeting that's a one-on-one survey. And these are for university studies and stuff like that. So when you read those statistics, 9 out of 10 people floss once a day or whatever. It's sometimes because they've called people in and sat them down and talked to them. So some of the more extreme versions of these are some of the very extreme versions of these are like biological and shit. I will not do that. You do not get to inject me with anything. I won't swallow anything. None of that shit. Not at the university, at least. But yeah, no, none of that kind of shit. But I'll go in and answer questions and stuff. So over the past year, I've done a whole slew of these things that have been all financial related. So you go in and they ask you questions about your finances, your banking habits, this, that, and the other thing. And as you do more and more of them, you start getting, like, sometimes the first one of these I've ever found, I found through Kijiji. So it's just like, want to come in and answer some questions and make some money. Okay, cool. After that, though, you start getting emails and stuff like that offer slightly better paying ones and slightly better paying ones. One of the first ones I ever went in for, I think I got $30 or something like that, and I had to listen to people say syllables and decide if they were, like, gay, straight, male, female, and I think something else. So, like, that was super weird. Yeah. That would be weird. Super boring, though, because they just hooked me up to a computer, and it was just like an hour. That was a long one. It was like an hour of just listening to people go, and trying to decide, is that person gay, straight? Like, super weird.
Well, what was the purpose of it? Like,
Well, that one, oddly enough, actually, was for like a project, and I think they were trying to decide how people judge the way people speak and stuff like that, on the most core, because you know how language is always broken up into smaller pieces and stuff like that. So from that aspect, deciding how people judge others based on, you know, maybe a phone call or a blind meeting of any kind where you're speaking to somebody you can't see. That one, I had the option of going in and actually seeing the presentation that resulted from it. I unfortunately didn't. I think I got busy or forgot the date or something. But that I had the option to go in and actually see a presentation with the results in it. Since then, though, Yeah, no, go ahead. That seems judgy?
No, I find, I mean, okay, so we're you know, you're out in public and you know, you're dealing with a cashier at the store, or you're, you know, overhearing conversations, two people walking by, and I mean, you know, there's certain you know, there's certain markers where somebody might judge if somebody's gay, right? I mean, like, you know, if somebody, you know, I don't even know how to put this without sounding politically, you know, correct with it, but if somebody's sort of talking normal, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of gay men, for example, that speak very femininely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for me, that would be one indication.
Yeah.
But you know, so for someone that doesn't, you know, a male, again, for example, that isn't speaking, you know, with any sort of feminine afflictions, I feel like, you know, just based on how they say peanut butter, I don't know that's it's really a good indicator of, you know, being gay or straight. You know, I mean, I guess I'd have to know more about it to fully wrap my head around it. But yeah, that just seems really, I don't know, kind of a weird study.
Yeah, no, it was very bizarre. And one of the most tedious ones I've done. I actually thought long and hard about going in for another one because that took a long time and it was only like $30. But then I went in to do a whole bunch more, and these are the ones I've been doing over the past year now. Have been ones involving financial questions and stuff like that. So a lot of times I've signed a non-disclosure agreement and stuff like that because I knew which bank I was talking to and stuff like that. And whatnot. Anyway, so I was talking about the financial aspect of this. So the last few that I've gone in for have been $100 for like half an hour of questions.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the money you can make if you get into university studies. So like if you have those in your town or city or whatever, even if the first one's like $25 and it doesn't seem worth it, get your foot in that door. I'm telling you. Universities pay, and people like that pay. People who work with universities and stuff pay.
I remember there was when I lived in Winnipeg when I was younger. There was a company called Hilltop Research, and they often, you'd find their ads in the newspaper, and they would have the physical studies. So they would have, you know, come try this shampoo, come try this cream, come try this, you know, whatever it was, right? I think certain medications and stuff like that, and they actually paid really well, and but I mean, they were based over, you know, 6 weeks or something, and then there was, you know, and they'd pay a few $100 or something like that, and so, but that, you know, that was all I never did it. I considered it, but I don't know. Then you know, I'd call and say, okay, so what's this about? And they'd be like, well, for the next 6 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, no, I want my $300 right now. Mm-hmm. Right, if you're gonna subject me to acid lotion, I mean, yeah, I want to get paid now.
No shit.
So,
I used to live with this couple, and the guy used this stuff, and it was experimental, but he knew the guy that was like creating it or whatever, so he would get it and use it. But the first time he tried it was in a trial, and it was this stuff. I think, was it an injection? I think it was an injection, and it caused your skin to tan because it. Yeah, it was an injection. It caused you to tan by, like, stimulating the pigments or something like that. Like, what a bad idea!
Yeah, that doesn't sound safe at all. Injection tan? I mean,
yeah.
Spray tan is bad enough, but...
No shit,
you know,
like why would you do that to your
tan.
body? And worse yet, with something that hasn't at least been through a few 100,000 people already.
So that must be what Michael Jackson used, but, like, the opposite one.
Yeah, right? Or it just went really bad. Maybe when he was broke, he did a university test for some money, and then over the years, he just bleached out.
Yeah, just slowly, every passing day, he just got bleachier and bleachier.
Yeah. I guess he was never broke. That was a really stupid thing to say.
No, he was broke, man. Towards the end of his life and shit, there was a lot of stuff they talked about and said that he was legit broke, right?
Well,
And
yeah, but he
he had
came. Sorry,
money
go ahead.
tied up. He got richer after he died, which I mean is generally the case.
Hmm.
But no, there was a lot of stuff saying like he was legit broke and things were being seized and things were being sold and but he was a weirdo, right? So I mean, like he had the monkey, he had the oxygen tent, he had the why what the playground. I can't remember what it's called right
Oh
now.
yeah, Neverland Ranch.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like he had all kinds of weird shit that he was sinking his money into.
Hmm.
And yeah, and no, they were saying he was like, yeah, his estate was legit broke, and then yeah, and it wasn't until after he died, that the estate actually became lucrative again for the rest of the family. So
Yeah. Yeah, but he never had to be a broke ass ramen eating 20-year-old or anything. I mean, the Jackson 5, he was like 6 or something. Like he was
well,
like
yeah, he wasn't in back alleys picking cans out of garbages
yeah,
to
yeah.
get his next Botox injection. But I mean, you know, I guess broke to you and I is very different to Michael Jackson broke.
I would think so. Yeah, I would definitely think so. Long and short, I don't think he was ever doing university studies for money.
No, probably not.
No, probably not. So
Maybe it was just a wild Saturday night or something.
yeah, there we go. There we go. That was a long time to
Anyways.
spend disparaging my own joke.
Yeah, it was. My bad.
Oh no.
Now I
no,
made
it's
things
fine.
awkward.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we do here. We make things awkward. You want to talk about awkward? I don't even have my fucking Christmas tree up yet. It's sad.
Really?
It's so sad. I've just been so busy this month.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's sad. So I long and short too, I've been testing a new banking app. That was the moral of that story.
Okay, yeah, getting
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah, and it'll be able to integrate with your current app and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Like, so even if you're with a different bank, you can still use the app, but it like integrates with your current banking app and stuff like that. So, and I'm great for this because I do everything on my phone. I never carry cash. I'm always using my phone to transfer money here and there while I'm out, the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, I was made for that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds interesting, and I mean, definitely for a couple quick bucks and a little bit of your time, why not? And yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather just sell sperm, but
You
that's
can't
me.
really do that in Canada.
Oh, I know Canada sucks so bad for you're paid to give blood in the States, you're paid to give sperm. I mean, there's so many things that you can get paid for. Like you can give up a testicle
I've heard
for
that.
30 grand,
Yeah.
You can give up you can sell your kidney. I mean, like it's ridiculous the amount of money that you can make in the US compared to here. Like yeah, Canada does really suck for shit like that.
Yeah, I heard about the $30,000 dangler. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. I remember that actually. It's weird that I remembered that, like, you said that and it pulled on that string in my memory. Like, yeah, definitely I remember that. Yeah, that was, like, a couple years ago. That guy, like, famously, he was like, hey, I sold my testicle. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things that for anybody that saw it would stick with you because as a man, right? I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I got 2 of them. I'll sell one for 30 grand. Shit.
Right?
I mean, why wouldn't I?
Especially if you're...
If you're what?
Oh, I was going to say, especially if you're over having kids.
Yeah,
Like-
actually, I couldn't sell. Well, see, and I'm neutered, so I don't know if I could even sell my nuts. But hell, take them both.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah, no doubt. I wonder, eh? Well, since it's tied off, they could just take them out even easier.
Yeah, perhaps. But I think, yeah, like, I can't remember the reasoning behind it. Like, did the ball get put into somebody else? I'm not really sure what the purpose of selling a testicle, what it would be used for, but I know for like I had a vasectomy, and I know that if I get unsnipped, my nuts will start producing sperm again. So I don't, I could probably still sell them because they're not broken. They're just cut off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. It's quite possible that yeah, maybe they've been kind of like Walt Disney frozen, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently he sold his left testicle, which is just great. He sold his left testicle and bought a sports car with it, and he got 35,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
But yeah, I know, right? But not just anybody can. So it's not like there's just a lineup where you can go sell your testicle. I don't know exactly what this guy's story was, and I think I have to watch a brief episode of The Doctors to find out. But his name's like Percy. I don't know what his first name is. He did so. So I guess maybe somebody needed it or something. I don't know, but he maybe did it for. I don't know why. I don't know why he did it. But not anybody can. There's not a place where you can go line up and do that. No.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, like I said, there's obviously a specific reason for the need of donated testicles. I mean, I mean, I don't think there'd be people paying that kind of money to a lineup around the corner because, in the U.S. especially, how many guys would be lining up, right? Well, not even just the U.S. I mean, any country, I guess. But I mean, 35 grand's a lot of money for, couple hours surgery or an hour surgery, maybe a day or two in the hospital. And, I mean, that's not bad cash. I don't know that I'd buy a sports car with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that defeats the purpose of yeah, I don't know. But I guess they say that people with guys with sports cars are compensating for something, and so I guess he's compensating for only one testicle, right? I mean,
yes, perfect. How perfect.
Situation of his own creation, though, kinda, but
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, but so can you imagine though writing off that car? Like you said, you don't know if you'd spend it on a sports car. A sports car seems way too short term. Like a week later, you get a spinal injury and you can't drive anymore. Like, oops, there goes my testicle on my sports car. Like I don't. Yeah.
I mean, to me, and I think most people, would be smart enough where it's money to get caught up on bills, or it's money to invest, or maybe it's combination of bills, investing, and a vacation, right? Like, it just seems like, yeah, like, and I mean, 35,000 in the big scheme of things isn't a lot of money.
No.
But yeah, I mean, a sports car, I mean, a tree can fall. You can get into an accident, and yeah, you have insurance and everything, but yeah, I don't know. Just to take a big chunk of change, likely the only chunk of change he had, and just blow it on a sports car. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm on the side of investing. Like, if you do that, you should have a dream. Like, that should open the bakery you've worked your whole life for. That should be something that provides something ongoing.
Start a business, invest. Yeah, like, I mean, turn it into more money. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, you got to think, people have to think about their retirement age and stuff. And, you take 35 grand and just drop it into a long-term investment, you'd probably be okay for the day you retire.
Exactly. Why not do that? I don't know. He looked young and spry. I mean, I guess they're probably not buying 70-year-old testicles, but he looked young enough. Like, he was probably 35, 40, something like that.
Yeah. But people are weird with money. There was a guy, this is a lot of years ago now in Winnipeg, who won $10 million. Off the lottery, and in a year he was broke.
Mm-hmm. That's sad, yeah.
So, I mean, when it comes to money, people are just really strange. Like, he went out and I think he went to the Ford dealership and bought like 10 brand new trucks or something. Right? He's a native fella, lived on a reserve, so I think he bought a bunch of people on the reserve brand new trucks, and I didn't follow it super closely. I just remember that was one of the things that, because, he's, of course, anybody who wins that kind of money's in the paper. And then it was, like a month later or something, there's another article about him saying, oh yeah, he got his check. He walked into the Ford dealership and bought 10 brand new trucks or something. And it's just like, oh, so there's $600,000 just gone. Right. I mean, Yeah, I don't know. So money's weird when it comes to stuff like that. So
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
there's a lot of people like that. I was gonna say, sorry. There's a lot of people like that have won a shit ton of money and then blown it all. I think there was a reality show actually, not reality show in the way we have like TLC show about a bunch of those guys who they had like a whole bunch of them who had won huge amounts of money and gone totally broke. But I think when you've never had money, I think when you see $10 million, you think I could never spend this. There's no way I'll ever
Yeah.
run out. I'll just buy a few trucks for my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, you're very short term oriented. Your goals are very short term, and yeah, and then you just kind of wake up one day and go, damn, right?
mm-hmm.
So I mean,
That's-
and that absolutely makes sense for somebody who doesn't have the concept of $10 million, right? The world essentially becomes your playground, and you think, that absolutely that you would never ever spend that much money. There's no possible way.
mm-hmm. And
I
they
don't know. I'm the
advertise
opposite.
it.
Give me $10 million. Yeah, I'll freaking spend it. Give me 3 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they
You know how much
advertise it that
hookers
way,
and
too.
blow I would have? Oh,
Well, that's one way to invest it. Yeah, that's definitely something that will continue to pay into the future as you go, be it through disease or otherwise.
there was a guy that said that that had won $2 million or something. There was actually a guy, and they were doing an interview with him and saying, so I don't know if it was a lottery or like maybe it was a sweepstakes or like we have the home lottery
Yeah.
here, so it was some smaller thing, but yeah, he won a couple $1 million or something like that, or 5 million. It was still a ton of money, and he was doing an interview, and they were like, so what are you thinking of spending some money on? And he said hookers and blow. He's
Wow.
like, a lot of cocaine and a lot of prostitutes or something like that. And then it was just like, and he was dead serious.
I hope he was just the best comedian ever. Like I would hope he's not. I feel like on the same token, he probably did spend it on that, but I just feel like somebody with the self-awareness to say that, shouldn't. But I guess he
Well,
was
I
very
don't
happy.
know. I don't think you should ever spend a ton of money on hookers and blow. I mean, yeah, not everybody's Charlie Sheen. They don't all have wizard blood,
No, right?
tiger blood, or whatever the hell it was.
I remember that. Yeah, he was Oh yeah, I can't remember now. Yeah, Tiger Blood, I think is what it was. But what was he? He was like a grand something. He thought he was like the grand.
He was a wizard.
Is that what he was? He was a wizard. Okay, yeah.
A wizard of some sort. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh,
Yeah, he
wow.
flipped his lid there. He lost his shit for a while there.
Yeah, he sure did.
He was
think he's
winning.
Yeah. I think he might be doing a little better now, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Charlie Sheen. That's somebody I should check on.
Yeah, you should. We
Yeah,
could
see-
dedicate an entire episode to Charlie Sheen.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or we could just say
Oh.
that we did.
Yeah, we could just say that we did. We could totally
Yeah.
skip that episode, then come back. Like our next episode could just open up, be like, "Well, I hope y'all like the season premiere about Charlie Sheen. Talk about
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen
absolutely.
nonstop."
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody will be like, "What the fuck? When did you do that?" I don't know.
God,
Everybody,
do
like
we ever
anybody
go off
listens
on
to the show.
tangents.
Yeah. So, I
Moving
do
on.
have some more structured things today.
Okay.
I have a quiz for you.
Quiz. Ooh. I like quizzes,
Yeah.
especially ones I don't study for.
Ooh, good. Yeah, I made sure you wouldn't study for this one.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I didn't say I went swimming, but I went swimming the other day and came back with the flu. But I don't get sick that often. I try not to get sick that often because I try super hard not to get sick. I'm careful about my hand washing habits and things like that. So I've tried to learn a lot about the flu. So I created a little game for you. For us, I guess I should say, because I'll enjoy you being on the spot as well. So, called
All right.
Flu or False. You like
Okay.
it? You like what I
Yeah.
did there? You see what I did there?
Yeah, I
that's
did.
me making it awkward
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you did, but I just completely tried to ignore it, right?
Oh.
So I didn't get that like nauseous feeling.
If you don't like being nauseous, this is going to be a hard period of time on you doing the show.
Yeah, I know. That's,
I mean-
I'm just gonna buy like a pallet of gravel. It'll be good.
Yeah. In the last episode of last season, you stopped partway through to vomit, I think.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I did stop halfway through the episode of recording and yep, spilled my guts. But I made it to the toilet though, so that was good. And at the time, it flushed.
Oh, well, thank God for that, eh?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Hopefully, if it backs up, that isn't what you get to see again.
Oh, God, that would be horrible.
I know. That made me nauseous. Okay,
Yeah.
So, how much do you think you know about the flu?
You know what? I guess we're probably about to find out. I don't think I'm anywhere near expert level.
Okay, well, let's find out. So these are true or false. So if you have an idea, it's easier you don't have to have dates and shit. So here we go. First question. The flu virus is only about 200 years old.
You know what? I feel like I'm going to go true on that one.
Ooh, false.
Oh, Jesus.
The cold virus is only about 200 years old. The flu, though, is thought to date back to about 500 BC when it was described by, been dreading saying this name all day, Hippocrates. There we go. I got through it. But it goes back, way the hell back to 500 BC. But the cold virus, that's why I actually picked that number, is actually only 200 years old.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was kind of interesting.
So is it possible that Jesus didn't actually die? They just thought he was dead, but because he had the man flu, and that's why he then came back and Good Friday and Easter and all that shit. He resurrected, but really he was just feeling better.
No shit, that's exactly what it is. We are rewriting the Bible. Clear your schedule.
No, I think that's absolutely what it was because we all know how guys get when they have the flu or even a cold. We're a bunch of babies, and he got sick and he just laid there and he was just like he was dead.
Yeah.
Right. And they didn't have things like Buckley's back then or echinacea pills.
Yeah. Yeah. Emergency.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that he wakes up, he's like, fuck, I feel better. What the hell? I'm wrapped in cloth and fucking locked in a cave. Right?
Yeah. Fuck. He was comfy, warm, protected from the elements.
But that's why he was better, and then...
Exactly.
So that's definitely what happened.
Yeah. Speaking of which, shout out to my wonderful wife who's been taking care of me while I moaned with man flu for the last 2 days. I guess I should say that.
How many times did you say, I want to call my mommy?
Well, I didn't because I need a Ouija board to do that.
Oh, yeah. Now I made this awkward. I forgot about that. My bad.
Yeah. You know what's really weird? I have no shame in admitting this. That's the second time I've said that joke to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, seems I can retain information really well.
The first was when you hired me, I think. We were doing emergency contacts or something like that, and I made shit super fucking awkward.
Yeah. I don't even know why I hired you, so...
Probably because I said shit like that.
Probably, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this guy's twisted as fuck. He'll fit in just fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So,
all
next.
Right.
So,
yes.
Cold, 200 years. That's great. Okay.
Here we go. The question 2. The modern flu shot is a complete line of defense against the flu.
I'm going to say it's false.
Ooh, okay, see, I tried to complicate that. I thought I led you astray a little bit. You were right, it is false. Do you want to elaborate on your answer before I do?
That the flu shot is a complete defense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think there's anything that's a complete defense. The flu is something that, from again, the little I understand, the flu is something, as well as the cold actually, is something that it changes.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So, I mean, I think the common strains, right? I think it protects against, common strains.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is something that is constantly, I don't want to say evolving, but changing.
Yeah. That's exactly correct. Very, very nice.
Bam!
So it's widely thought that the flu kind of starts in South Asia and moves to Europe and then over this way. So the flu shot is essentially made, somebody will be able to put a more scientific spin on this, but this is quite accurate, is made by analyzing those trends based on what's going to come here in the next flu season, so to speak. And the flu shot defends against 4 now, because there was I can't really talk about that because that's going to blow another question. But it defends against 3 to 4 types of flu that they forecast are going to be the most prevalent. Yeah. So, unless you specifically get one of those types of flu, it's literally actually completely useless for all intents and purposes, because it's not after the other flu strains.
And of course, you go get a flu shot, they don't tell you this shit.
No, and the marketing is very misleading too. Like, whenever you see the signs everywhere, it's just like, okay, well, I'll be fine. I can go get my flu shot, then lick a homeless person. You know, like, I don't know what homeless people have to do with the flu.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, and why would you lick a homeless person?
What, you haven't always wanted to lick a home? Okay, never mind. Maybe this is just weird. I guess I'm wrong. I guess maybe.
Well, you are the human toilet, so.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah. That had to come back around.
Yeah, it had to come back around at some point. Maybe that's the title of this episode, Human Toilet. Maybe, I don't know if I want the kind of people who are Google searching human toilet to listen to this.
No.
Another interesting factoid I have, 2013 is, in recent memory, is one of the best matches that they think they've had for the flu vaccine, like completely lining up with those 3 kinds and pegging them off at the gate kind of deal. And that was estimated to be 62% effective. So that's not really great.
No,
it's not. That's the best. No. So flu shot is a gamble. It's like washing your hands. It's a precaution. So, yeah. So next question. We're on to number 3. I only have 6 of these, by the way.
Okay.
The first H1N1 outbreak occurred over 100 years ago.
I'm going to go false.
Okay. I was hoping you were going to go false. It's actually true. But the most famous one we all remember was in 2009. But it also occurred in 1918 in Spain, I believe, and affected about 500 million people.
Wow.
Yeah. So not the first time we saw H1N1. If you want to go down a weird rabbit hole, look that shit up, because there's like a lot. There's like H5N3s and shit, and there's all these different like branches of it, and it's kind of bizarre. Some come from aviary things. Birds. There we go. Some come from birds. Some come from pigs. Some come from all kinds of different things. So,
you're kind of messed up, because aviary would be pretty much the least used word by most average people when describing birds. Bird would be by far the first word that would come to their minds.
Yeah.
And then the second would probably be those things that fly, that flap their wings, right? And I mean, people would be having all kinds of like charades being played before they would come up with the word aviary. Yeah.
At what point in your history of knowing me have I led you to believe I would go down a normal path with anything?
No, not at all. Just making sure the listeners just get a full understanding of your, your psyche.
Okay. Fair enough.
No.
All right, question 4. This one has to do with vaccination as well, actually. There are only 2 countries that encourage flu vaccination.
See, for me, that's a tough one, because I would say Canada and the U.S. would be 2 countries, but I feel like, out in, Switzerland and Sweden and the Netherlands and stuff like that, they got some pretty crazy healthcare shit going on. But they also have Ricola. So,
yes.
And the guy with the big horn and the tights. So, I mean, I feel like he keeps everybody healthy. I'm going to go true.
Oh, nice. True. Yes, it is true. I liked the avenue you're exploring, because I thought it might throw you off with like this. There was like a Spanish flu in the early 1900s and stuff. We kind of talked about that. So I was hoping that would kind of throw you off. Okay, nice. You're right. It's only Canada and the U.S. You nailed it. Yeah, apparently it's viewed quite differently in other countries. Like Europe's kind of up for grabs. It depends where you look. Another interesting rabbit hole if you want to look it up. But even despite the lack of a flu vaccine, in most of these countries, fatalities are still basically reserved for like old people, like the elderly, and anybody with like immunal issues and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I just know the medical field is so different in every country, which is bizarre in itself, but. Yeah, that's why I kind of felt like, it's it would be true. So
yeah, no, that's nice, good grab on that one. All right, moving right along, as they say in game shows, I guess. I don't know, is that a thing? Flu and stomach flu are both caused by the influenza virus.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh, you answered that right away. Nice work. Yeah, the stomach flu isn't really a flu. It's a kind of a cute and relatable name for gastrointestinitis. It's got nothing to do with the influenza virus that causes like stuffy nose, sore throat, dizziness. Like it's not the same one. Yeah, not the same thing at all. It's not even a flu.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of, I just kind of felt like, I mean, the flu is one thing. They're two very different things. And so, yeah, so that's why I kind of thought, and I mean, there's so many things we just call something, but, like when you're throwing up all day and you're going, oh God, I have food poisoning. Well, no, you drank a 40-pound of vodka last night, I mean,
yeah.
But we call it food poisoning,
Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean, that's kind of food and beverage. Who knows? Maybe is a hangover food poisoning? Whoa.
I'm just going to go with yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So there you go. There's your excuse after the parties these holidays. You can call in to work with food poisoning and you have our blessing. A hangover is technically food poisoning.
Absolutely. I'm good with that.
There we go. Okay, your flu knowledge has been just really good so far. I've been very impressed by your flu knowledge thus far.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
We all got to be good at something.
Well, this one I was thinking if you had a really rough game the whole time, this would be a nice gimme, but I don't even think I'm going to get to the end of the sentence before you answer this. So, here we go. The flu and the cold can be differentiated by the presence of fever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, true, I guess.
False. I was just thinking about the wording of that, if I was screwing you over. I was just looking at the wording. That's why I took a deep breath before I answered. No, because not all flus bring a fever, and colds don't bring a fever. So you could have a flu that you're calling a cold or whatever because it doesn't have a fever, so you think that's got to be a cold. It's not the case.
Yeah, see, so that's something I wouldn't know. I mean, I know colds don't come with fevers, but I would always attribute fever to flu.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and it's not always the case.
Not saying that you can't have a fever for different reasons, but I would always say if somebody has a fever, the flu, someone said, hey, yeah, I'm sick, I got the flu, I'd be like, oh, how's your fever? Right? I mean, that would be, for me, they go hand in hand. So I didn't know that. I didn't realize that you can have a flu without a fever.
Yeah, indeed you can. And I don't think a lot of people know that. But I wasn't sure. And considering you own like some of those other questions, I was like, well, fuck, who knows? Maybe consider the stomach flu thing. I thought, hey, since you knew that, maybe. I'm just trying to tally up to make sure because I did poorly keeping track as we went because I was so impressed by your knowledge.
Okay, what did I get? Half of them right anyways.
Yeah, I think so. You got 1, 2...
I don't think it's enough to get a prize, but...
Actually, by my estimates here, you got 4 or 6 of those correct.
4 or 6? I wasn't sure
so
if it was
you did
3
really
or 4.
Good. Yeah, no, you did really good. That's a majority.
Sick. That's like 60%.
Yeah, and then you said
about
sick.
Like 70%. In around there.
Sweet flu pun.
I got a C. Woo!
Yeah. Congratulations. So yeah, there we go. Now our listeners have learned. Our listeners have learned some nifty factoids about the flu to throw around along with their flu at Christmas dinner, and you've proven your knowledge of the flu. So that's pretty awesome.
My mama learnt me right.
There we go. And I tested you.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how many... I don't know why I'm even asking you this. This is the most random thing in the fucking world. I swear I was going to try to... When I was making notes a few days ago, I was going to try to work this in somewhere. And now I don't think I have I'm not convinced that I'm going to find a place to work it in. How many Q-tips do you think I use in a year?
You personally or the average person?
Me. Because that's the only thing I have a specific statistic on right now to share with you.
That's random as fuck, dude.
I know.
Q-tips.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even wager a guess, man, because I mean that is just so out of left field.
I know,
that,
right? It has nothing to do with the flu, by the way.
And I don't know that anybody's ever been like, oh my god, I think I have a Q-tip addiction. You know?
Well, I actually use a lot of Q-tips. I like having clean ears.
Okay. Okay, so how many? What's the statistic here?
Our household, me and my wife, and I use a lot of Q-tips out of the two of us, this year have used 1,170 Q-tips.
1,100, so like over 2 boxes of Q-tips between 2 people.
Yep. And how do I know this? Because I take so much grief for my love of Q-tips that last Christmas, she bought me this jumbo, like, super ridiculous shrink-wrapped, like, fucking crate of Q-tips that had, like, 2 small ones, a medium one, and then a travel one along the side, or something like that, amounted to 1,170 Q-tips. And coincidentally, we have not bought Q-tips all year, and we're only just now about to run out. So, for the first time in my life, I inadvertently have a statistic on how many Q-tips we've used this year.
Wow, that is mindless.
I know, but I think if you learn something like that about yourself, you can't let it go to waste. I mean, who else knows that?
Well, yeah, that is pretty specific. That's a pretty specific thing that I think most people wouldn't even clue into. For even for people that went through a lot of Q-tips, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are aware of the amount of Q-tips that they would use. So the fact that you have that, yeah, that's special in its own way.
It definitely is. I've added it to my resume, so.
Well, and I think that's important. I think that could make or break a job.
Well, it shows commitment.
I did fail to mention something at the beginning of the show. You asked how I was doing, and I said I have, other than my toilet, I lead an uneventful life. So I,
Okay.
I did fail to mention that I did do something pretty random this week.
Yes,
I
you
went and got a
did.
tattoo.
Yes.
And
What of, Ryan?
I got a heart with a little shamrock in it tattooed on my ass so that I could be like the Care Bears.
And is this because you love the Care Bears?
No, I just think I'm cuddly and cute.
Oh. Well, fair enough. There's nothing I can say.
It was something that I dreamed up a couple years ago. I don't really remember the motivation for it as to why. But yeah, my girlfriend and I both got matching tattoos on our gluteus maximuses.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about that. During the last episode, during the season finale for season 1, because I didn't know that about Care Bears.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't know that they had hearts on their butts.
Oh. I'm also the proud owner of a picture of your new tattoo, too, which might be why I was sick for 2 days.
That could very well be it. Yeah.
Yes.
My bad.
I don't think so. Yeah. But
I just wanted to throw that in there and mention that I don't just smoke crack in my crack den and sleep all day. I go out and I do stupid shit like getting hearts tattooed on my ass.
Yeah. So it's a pretty small, like, what would you say it's bigger than a toonie, right?
Yeah, it's a bit bigger than a toonie. It's not big. Yeah, it's not big.
Oh yeah, great. And nobody anywhere else in the world has a fucking clue what I'm talking about when I say bigger than a toonie. We have listeners in Switzerland and everything. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. But it's it's big though. It's not big. It's not that big though, right?
No, it's not that big. And Naomi is now being lovely enough to point out that it's also not that big compared to the square footage I have on my ass. So that
Nice.
that is love at its finest right there.
So you didn't use much real estate then, is what's being
No,
said.
no, lots of fucking acres left on there.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thanks for that tidbit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is she with you right now?
she is. Yeah,
Oh, awesome. So that's Naomi Gillis, right?
yes it is.
Did I get her last name right? Thank you.
Yeah, you did. I asked her. She's not feeling very well today. I asked her to join in, but she's not feeling great, so she's just hanging out and listening to us rant at each other.
Fair enough. Well, I guess since I promised Christmas-themed-ish things today, we should talk about Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, it's coming up. Another less than a week or some shit. 6 days.
Oh my god, yeah, it is 6 days away. I can't believe I've slacked so bad on Christmas. I used to be a Christmas addict. I used to update my Facebook page every day with how many minutes and hours were until Christmas. And I've
had my tree up for a few weeks.
Yeah, I suck.
Yep.
My house feels depressingly un-Christmas for me.
Yeah, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm going to try to do something about it, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. But then I accidentally took a day off, and because I decided that being a freelance writer was a good idea, if I don't do anything, I don't get paid. So I need to do shit in order to get paid, because I can't go to work and hang out there and do shit on my phone and also get paid. No, I need to do things. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
It
so
does.
what kind of
It's
Christmas tidbits do you have for us today?
Well, I think only really 2 questions for you that I thought might inspire interesting Christmas banter. One was, well, I guess I had 3 in total when I started. One was if you'd ever spent a Christmas sick, but then you were like, I'm old, I've done lots of things. So I was like, okay, sure, that didn't go anywhere. So my next question, I suppose, would be, have you ever given a vindictive Christmas gift?
No. I've been given vindictive. My ex-wife's father gave me coal for Christmas one year. Because he was an asshole. Yeah, he thought it was funny as fuck, but it was pretty rude. But I think the closest thing that I can say that I've done, and it wasn't vindictive so much as it was half prank, half legitimate gift, years and years and years ago, I was dating a girl whose brother hated change. Absolutely despised change of any sort.
Okay.
And so he wanted to get his nipple pierced. So what I did was I went to the bank, and at the time it was $40 to get your nipples pierced. And so I went to the bank and I got $40 in pennies.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I wrapped that up and I gave it to him for Christmas. Now, I could have been a lot crueler. I did leave them rolled.
Oh.
So it would have been a lot funnier had I taken them out of the rolls. But yeah, so no, I got a big box of pennies, a full box of pennies. It was $40 or whatever, and wrapped it. And of course, you know, he had no clue because $40 in pennies is a lot heavier than one might think.
Yeah, I buy that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he's just like, what the fuck, right? But, so that would be the closest thing that I could say that I've done in terms of being, you know, it's not vindictive, but cheeky.
Yeah, the cheeky, that's a good word for it, yeah. Coming from a guy who just got an ass tattoo, cheeky, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad, that's a friendly, pranky kind of thing. Yeah. Coal is a strangely wholesome way to say fuck you.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about you? Have you done anything that was vindictive?
Not too much as an adult, I wouldn't say. I've never done anything to an ex. When I was in junior high, I was kind of dating this chick, whatever, and she had a friend who just fucking hated me so much, and she was just such a bitch to me. So when Christmas came around, I gave a whole bunch of people these gifts, all beautifully wrapped up, because wrapping is totally my thing, and I gave her one. So obviously this is like the last day of school before break, so they all take them home, this, that, and the other thing. They didn't get opened at the time. Rebecca, was her name. And I gave her a shoebox that was filled with like everything I could find essentially, among which included a pad, a whole bunch of ketchup, other food items, hair, I think spit. It was a box of the worst things you could give a human being, okay?
That's good. I like it.
It was pretty evil. She didn't talk to me a lot after that. I don't think from my recollection, I don't think it really affected anything though. So obviously her friend didn't care. So like her friend being my girlfriend, if you will, at the time, apparently didn't care that I just fucked her friend over. So that, it all worked out.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was creative.
That is good. No, for me, Christmas has always been, I've always been a Christmas fanatic as well. I love Christmas. And so, no, I've never, if I have feelings of vindictiveness towards somebody, I mean, chances are that, I wouldn't put that kind of effort into giving them anything, wouldn't have that person as a part of my Christmas list, so, and it's also a difficult time of year for people and everything. And so for me, bullshit just sort of disappears at Christmas and I focus on my friends, my family and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and that's a very mature way to look at things. Not an outlook I had at that point in my life.
Oh, we all go through shit. I don't even think that that's all bad. You could have dropped a dookie in a box and,
I guess.
So
I was about to say, what part is good? She could reclaim the ketchup for later? What part of that is good?
Well, ketchup is useful, right? A pad is useful.
But a pad with ketchup on it sounds like a weird infection.
You put the ketchup, you squirted the ketchup on the pad.
Oh, yes. This was a box of hell to open up and look at.
Oh, I thought it was just like random stupid shit in a box. Okay, well that changes things up.
This was moist, rotting food things in a box.
Oh, that's delicious.
God knows when she opened it, made up in a moldy pad with ketchup in it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people that would use that pad to wring it out over their French fries. Right.
Any part of that sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's the worst thing I think I've done to somebody on Christmas.
So now apparently with Christmas sort of being, part of this, recording here is you saw a movie recently.
I did. And we're going to talk at length about the Grinch.
Okay.
The new Grinch. The brand new
Grinch.
New
one.
Yeah. And maybe I'll save my last Christmas question for you till after, actually. Let's talk about the Grinch, since you brought it up.
Talk about the Grinch. I feel like it's something you really need to get off your chest.
I think that's a smoother transition anyways. Yeah. So you watched it too, huh?
I did, yes.
Okay. I watched it in 3D in theaters.
Okay.
I think you watched it via very legitimate means elsewhere.
Yes. Very legitimate. Yes. Nothing illegal about how I watched it.
Excellent. Good to hear. So I took a lot of notes about that movie. I watched it, I came home and I made like 750 words worth of notes about the movie.
That's neurotic.
I kind of broke it into 4 sections, which I've deemed animation, the story and writing, and personnel. That's not 4 things, that's 3 things, Paul. I broke it into 3 things.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have thoughts that fit into those areas at all, that you might be able to time into those spaces. But yeah, so let's go, I guess. Actually, I guess I got... Oh, no. Yeah, no, animation is my first one. Yeah, okay, let's do it. By the way, spoilers! Massive spoilers coming for anybody who hasn't seen The Grinch or gives a shit. Yeah, major spoilers on the way. So I don't know. I guess I'll begin since I'm the one with the thousands of notes.
Sure, yeah. Start us off.
Okay, so this is going to get super neurotic and super nitpicky, so, y'all bear with me, because I'm pulling the movie apart a bit here. I know it doesn't have to be so serious, because it's just The Grinch, so I am aware of that going into the door. So, first of all, a lot of the people complaining about The Grinch had a lot of complaints about the how short it was, and stuff like that. I think it was only like an hour and 20 or so. Oh, no, it wasn't even that long, I don't think. Close to an hour and 20, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit longer than that. I'm not 100% sure.
It was
To me,
definitely...
to me, it felt long.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's the opposite of a lot of people's complaints about it, actually. I was just going to see if I could get the time quickly here for us. An hour and 26, yeah.
okay.
So throw credits in there and all that. Now, it bugs the crap out of me when people... Like, I'm a major enthusiast of people who create things and the way they create things, right? So it drives me nuts when people underestimate animation. Animation, even in this day and age with computers, is extremely taxing and takes a great deal of time. They've said that the production of one episode of Family Guy takes a year. The reason you get episodes every week is because they've been making it all this time. They're always working on an episode, but the episode they're working on right now isn't next week's. The episode they're working on right now is next year's. Like, these things are very, very, very demanding. Like, this movie... Do you want to take a guess how much it cost them to make The Grinch for that hour and 20 minutes?
Oh, shit, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even wager a guess.
$75 million.
Ooh.
Okay? This is a movie that has a shelf life of a 5-week period every year. Okay?
Yep.
So, back the fuck off how long the movie was, okay? Like... Fuck, like Avatar, you can watch all year long. It costs a lot more money to make. It's a lot longer. There's a good reason, you know? Like, and even that is a bad example of animation because a lot of that was motion capture. But still, like, I mean, it bugs me when people complain about that. Like, it was too short. Like, that's an extremely, people worked really hard to make that, you know?
Yeah, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. I did some math, and if I'm right, it works out to about $781,000 a minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that paycheck.
No. So, yeah. Of course, like I said, I saw it in 3D. I haven't historically been impressed with 3D, but I've always seen... I've only seen a couple 3D movies, too. I haven't seen many at all. But I've seen movies that didn't play well in 3D. One of them was Jackass 3D.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, what are you going to get from Jackass 3D? They did like three things throughout the whole movie that even required 3D that were graphics for the title and stuff like that. And then one point they like open a box of dildos or something and 1,000 dildos fly at the screen and it goes 3D. But that's it. Like, it wasn't
I've never been a fan of 3D at all. Even movies that are better suited for 3D. I've seen, a handful. It was getting quite popular there for a while where every movie coming out was available in 3D and in the theaters. And I'm not a fan of 3D in general.
No, I've never liked it before. But I actually found this worked really well in 3D. It felt light on the gimmicks. Like, there wasn't just a whole bunch of people throwing things across the room just to freak you out with 3D, But I thought they made really, really good use of it. I could see that. I was super impressed with the fur and the hair in that movie. Was unfreaking believable.
Okay.
Especially, I was wondering if you noticed anything. I was kind of leaving you a spot there if you noticed anything like that. But it was so good, and that was even better in 3D. The way that they, when they have moments when snow will blow across his fur and things like that. And I think we all have a good idea. You've seen your dog outside in the snow and stuff. The way that snow catches in fur is very specific. Like, it's like the way water moves. It's something that's so natural, it's hard to replicate. And generally those things don't look that great in animation. They're just kind of chunked on there or whatever. Absolutely freaking amazing work when it comes to the hair and the fur and the interaction with the snow, ice, all those different things. I was so impressed. I don't know if there's a lot of like other animation nerds out there who are totally freaking out about that, but it looked so good. So that was a big pro.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed anything about the animation one way or the other. Even the look of him, was there anything animation wise that you wanted to touch on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, to be fair, my completely legal and legitimate way of watching the movie left a bit of a quality issue.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So for me, I wouldn't have picked up on those kinds of details.
Okay. I believe animation nerds will love this movie, though, for that reason. There's one super notable goof in it, and once I say it, you'll never be able to unsee it in your mind. Did you notice anything throughout the course of that movie that made you go, wait a minute?
No, but you're gonna say it, and then I'm probably gonna go, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious to know if you noticed it. I am. So, in the very beginning of...
can't think of anything right off the top of my head, no.
Okay. So in the very beginning of the movie, we see Cindy Lou leave her house, and the method by which she leaves her house is by jumping on this, just basically a crazy carpet, for lack of a better word, a kind of a tube.
I thought it was an inner tube, pink
yeah,
inner tube.
like an inner tube, exactly. Yeah. Good catch. And then she slides down this huge hill to get down into town. Did you ever see her leave her house via that hill again?
No.
No, she doesn't. And not a single outer, establishing shot of that house ever really made reference to that hill ever again. She uses the inner tube again, but it's to leave the Grinch's lair. It has nothing to do with her house.
Well, I think that could be easily explained as she was in a rush to get her letter to Santa.
But where does it go in all the other shots of the house? That's the problem.
She wrecked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess. I can buy that. She did so much damage when she went down the first time that's it.
Damage.
Fair enough. I don't think so. I think they kind of overlooked that. I don't know what happened there. That was just a weird ass thing. And I'm not the only person that noticed that because I looked it up to see, wait, am I wrong? Did I miss? And I'm not, other people commented on that. So I don't know. That's a weird thing. Fred the reindeer. Did you think he looked, Fred the reindeer, who looks like a yak, first of all. Did you think yeah, what the fuck? But did you think he looked like another character from something else? But I can't put my finger on it.
Maybe there was maybe I feel like he kind of looked like the reindeer there on Frozen.
See, I haven't seen Frozen, but I would have seen enough out for it and stuff like that maybe that's why. I wonder. I'm looking that up right now.
I found Fred to be a difficult character. I mean, he wasn't believable for me. They didn't really give him a lot of depth.
No.
I mean, he had obviously very little screen time, but yeah, he wasn't my favorite. I mean, he saves the day, so with his wifey and kids, so good for him and all that. But I wasn't a fan of Fred.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's not even in my notes, but it almost felt like he was shoved in there just for that last scene. Okay, he's got to do this, so let's justify it for a couple scenes before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He was a very forced character. I felt.
Fair enough. Yeah. So Illuminations did this Grinch, and they're obviously the same ones that did all the Minion movies and all that stuff. Did you notice that there's definitely a fingerprint in there? There's a couple who have very Minion eyes.
I didn't know.
There's one in particular that wears glasses, and you know how obviously there's the Minion that I think he has glasses, or he just has ridiculously round eyes. I think he has glasses though, and there's almost the same character. She's short and stubby, she's built exactly like a Minion, and it just felt very you could tell it was the same company doing it. It was kind of weird. With that said, not overwhelming. So, yeah, I don't know. I just noticed that.
But I think even you look at a music group, right? They all have a lot of them have that certain style, and you can say, well, yeah, all their songs sound the same.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough.
So I think that's what I would chalk that up to. Is it's that they have their certain style of animation and their artistry and how they draw things, and it's what they know, right? So, I mean, that's what I would chalk that up to.
Yeah, and that's really probably all it is. But yeah, I mean, like I said, even though I noticed it, it was kind of good that it wasn't overwhelming. So I appreciated that. So I guess story and writing now. You talked about Fred a little bit. there that he was kind of crammed in there. That kind of falls in here a bit too. I thought it fit. Like, have you seen the other Grinches?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I thought as much. I thought it fell nicely into the canon of the Grinch, kind of. It worked with stuff we already kind of knew, like the orphanage bit, this, that, and the other thing. It felt like it worked with things we had kind of experienced already. It felt like it jived nicely into the Grinch world. It didn't ruin the other two movies.
You know, in all honesty, so for me, I didn't dig that deep into the movie. The movie itself, yeah, it wasn't bad. You know, it wasn't a bad movie. I didn't hate it. You know, but my big thing with it is why? Why did we need another? You know, we went from the original Grinch, which is like 32 minutes or 26 minutes or something,
Yeah.
right? And then we go into Jim Carrey, you know, where it's a full length movie. So you get more of the guy you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of felt, why? Like, you know, of all the movies to put out, like, okay, it's Christmas, you know, so obviously it's released at an appropriate time. But I couldn't get past the why of it. You know, like, are you guys just trying to get paid? Like, you're just going to throw whatever you can into theaters? And I mean, I'm not minimizing the amount of effort, you know, that went into making it. You know, like I say, it's a lot of hard work, and you know, people are picking apart, oh well, it was only 120, you know, or an hour and 26 minutes, and whatever. I mean, all that shit. There's lots of movies that are 100 or an hour and 9 minutes that, you know, that I watch that I enjoy, like, you know. And then there's movies that are 3 hours long that I'm like, oh my god, why didn't this end 2 hours ago?
Yeah.
So, you know, through it all, I mean, to me, the length of a movie doesn't really play into my opinions. It's, does it fit? You know, does everything you need to get in there? And so I think you know, this movie, this version of the Grinch, I think, yeah, they did a good job of getting everything in there that they needed to. You know, couple forced things, couple new things. You know, there was a couple different twists on you know, the original story and everything. But I really couldn't get past the why of it. I didn't see a need for another Grinch movie, animated or otherwise.
Okay. Did I just hear you drop the mic?
Yeah, that was a bit of a mic drop. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, okay.
like I said, I didn't see a reason for it, and to me, it's you know, you can't force somebody to go to a movie, but it wouldn't be a movie that I would pay to go to theaters for, you know.
Okay.
And I mean, which is funny. There's lots of movies I wouldn't, but it's you know, and I mean, it's become sort of a thing these days, you know, the last few years with these remakes. And some of them make sense and some of them don't. Some of them hack the hell out of them as remakes, and they're just absolute garbage. And others do a good job. And I'm not saying that this version of the Grinch did a bad job or by any means. I really just couldn't get past the why of it. And that's, so for me, yeah, that was, and maybe that's why I wasn't able to, because I watch movies and I'll, you know, sometimes watch them a second, third time because I like to analyze them. I like to pick them apart a little bit, and you know, so maybe that's why for me I just sort of laid there in a haze of you know, crack coated walls and just muddled through the movie. And like I say, I enjoyed the movie itself. It was good. It's worth a watch for people that like the Grinch. But yeah, like I said, the why of it for me was what was my takeaway.
Really, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't. There's so many remakes nowadays that I guess I was more afraid of what was going to happen to it. Like, how bad is it going to be more than why did they do it? Because it just seems trendy right now to remake everything. It's terrible,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But this didn't destroy any. Like you said, some of them are really, really bad. Some of them turn out really for the worst. And no, I don't think this one did. I agree. I didn't think the universe was kept as tight as it should have been. And kind of what I mean by that is, like, even the Jim Carrey Grinch didn't really go that far outside of kind of what you could see Dr. Seuss doing almost. But with this, it bothered me that there was references to video games. There was hip-hop on his radio. Like, these things didn't feel Seussy to me.
Yeah.
Like, they should have never said the word video game. That rubbed me the wrong way.
But, and I can understand. They're appealing to a new crowd. They have to change up enough of it to make it fresh, to make it new, to make it modern. Right? And again, it's got to appeal to a different generation than Jim Carrey or even the original. I think Jim Carrey's version, it was easier to expand because the first one, like I say, was only 26 minutes long. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think it was easy to expand. I think people back then weren't such vaginas, where you get offended by every little thing, and so they had to do something, and so they had to expand on it a bit, or, like what did they do? Like they did the Psycho remake, and it was literally scene for scene, word for word.
Yeah.
Just with new actors. Well, it was a total bomb. So with this, again, they had to change it up a bit, and so I can understand why things were put in there, because it's today's, it's 2018, right? So video games are it's relatable. Hip hop is relatable.
Well, I mean, same thing though, really, for when Jim Carrey's came out too, though. But I get what I suppose what you're saying is they didn't have as much room. Like Jim Carrey, they had, so anything they did was going to modernize that shit when they did the Jim Carrey one. Right now, they have to juice everything they can out of it to make it more relatable.
Well, and that's right. That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So
fair enough.
That would be my take on it, right? Is that, there's a completely different generation of kids and everything, and even adults, right? That are watching it, and so it has to be it has to be a bit more modern.
I suppose. I don't. It kind of still bumped me the wrong way, but I guess. I mean, I like the other things they did. I gave them a lot of freedom with I was happy with the story and that kind of stuff, even though it was changed. But I don't know. Video games? I don't know. I guess kind of related to that, and my last thing that has to do with writing and storytelling, is anything they do with Seuss, because they redid the Cat in the Hat Zoo a ton of years back and all that. Anything they do, rhyming should never, ever take a back seat. That's the whole core material that you're working with. Is everything basically rhymes in the Seuss world. Right? Yes. Jim Carrey's didn't even... I mean, you can't do that long of straight every single sentence rhyming. But there was a big sort of precedent put on it. There was a big weight put on rhyming in that still. Here, I felt like that was painfully forsaken. Yeah,
but I mean, to modernize it, would Dr. Seuss is for today's generation, as impactful, right? I mean, Dr. Seuss is timeless, but for people like me that grew up with Dr. Seuss when that was a big thing, and his stories were fun, and like you say, you had the Grinch, you had the Cat in the Hat, you had, and it was, the green eggs and ham, and I mean, it was great, right? So, but if you were, would you read a Dr. Seuss to today's 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, and would they be like, wow, that was mind blown, or would that be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play video games?
Well, I mean, that can arguably be said about anything written, right? Like anything that's printed, because as far as we, can generalize of today's kids, they don't care anything for a book, right? That's the whole idea. But I mean, as a bedtime story or as anything like that, where you would use any other book on a child of that age, I mean, I think the whimsy and stuff of the rhyming, I would argue that still holds up as much as anything else. Because, I mean, rhyming is a big element in those kind of children's books.
What are they saying? What are the boards saying? What is the internet saying about it?
As far as the rhyming part, I didn't go off on that. That's just all my opinion. So I didn't go down that avenue with the internet to find out for sure. I went down it for the Cindy Lou glitch there, but I didn't chase down. Because, I mean, you'll always find, I mean, the internet, especially when it comes to this kind of thing, people will argue every side. So, I mean...
So let me just get this straight. You went and Googled up the most, like, non-important scene of the entire movie... Okay, that had zero impact on the story, zero bearing on the movie itself, and you didn't find out about the rhyming. Okay.
I can answer that.
Okay,
I can answer that.
Because I'm like I honestly threw up in my mouth a little bit here. Like I'm just that disappointed with you because you're making more of a statement about the rhyming. And you seem to have a much stronger opinion about the rhyming than the sledding down the roof. Which I think they should have put a disclaimer saying this is a closed course, and do not try this at home because some fucking dumb helmet wearing retarded kid is gonna jump out his fucking third floor window and on an inner tube.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, no, but wait, I can answer to that, though. I can answer to that. Because I can have the opinion that it felt like they hit their bare minimum for the rhyme quota. I can have that as my personal opinion. Everybody could fight their own side of that. Whether or not that ramp ever appeared again or was ever explained away, that is a fact. That is, like, you can either tell whether it appeared again or not. So I had to double check that I didn't miss something there. As far as the rhyming goes, I'm free to form that opinion. The other one is more of a yes or no, right?
Yeah, but with the rhyming, and I mean, you make a good point that's very Seussian,
Mm-hmm.
And not, if you're doing anything Seuss, you absolutely it shouldn't take a back seat. So I mean, maybe it's a difference of the factor and opinion, but I mean, I think there's going to be strong opinions about it for people that recognize Seuss and his style.
Yeah, definitely. I think there'll be a lot of strong opinions, definitely. Yeah. So that brings us to what I called in my notes personnel, because I don't just want to talk about the actors. There's some other people in there too I want to bring up. Did you notice who did the music for that movie?
No.
Danny Elfman. Do you know who that is?
I do. Yeah, it's a very, very with soundtracks and musical scores and stuff. Yeah, Danny Elfman's huge.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's done he's probably done more things I don't even know. At the list I could take count of, he's credited on 151 different movie soundtracks.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, no, he's he's kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Big time. He wrote the Simpsons theme, in fact.
Yep.
So yeah, big deal there. Big music heavy man in there for that. So I mean, no complaints about the music one way or the other. It'd have to be pretty bad. I mean, my complaint about there being hip hop on the radio is kind of unrelated because that's not score stuff that's setting the mood to everything. I have no complaints music-wise, but I just had to note that Mr. Music himself still hasn't taken a fucking day off. Danny Elfman did this too. So yeah. I had a list of other things he's done, but I mean, it's widely acknowledged. He's done everything. Just assume he's done it if you've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was directed by Scott Mosier. Do you know who that is? I hate saying his name, by the way.
No.
That sounded cringy. He has worked alongside, I don't know how much of the more recent projects, but he worked alongside Kevin Smith for the longest time. So
really?
So his foot is in there on things like Clerks, the Jay and Silent Bob movies, Mallrats, all that stuff is Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier. So that's who he is. So interesting guy to have dipping his finger in the Grinch pie. I thought that was weird.
Very different from anything with Kevin Smith.
Yeah. right?
I wasn't.
So I was excited about that.
I wasn't impressed with the cast.
No.
Right. Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. I love him. I think he's a great actor. He's done a lot of great movies. He's got that accent and a very unique voice. And I think that voice work. I mean, he did the voice work for Smaug on the Hobbit movies.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which I thought he did a great job, and it was a great pairing because he does have this menacing, ominous tone to his voice that he does really well, I just felt that was. It's not that he did a bad Grinch, but it just didn't. It wasn't to me. It wasn't a good pairing. Having Pharrell Williams as the narrator. Again,
I threw up a little in my mouth. That's my next note. Yeah,
I was listening to it and I'm going, the voice sounds familiar, and I thought it was Cuba Gooding Jr. And then of course there was parts where I felt that it was Cuba, but then I got online and I looked and I saw that it was Pharrell. But no, I mean, I don't see a point to that. And I mean, short of that, there's no other real names. Kenan Thompson, he doesn't have much of a career. I mean, he was a child actor, right? And played in absolute retarded B movies. So I didn't understand the cast. I didn't understand the lineup.
Yeah. No, I follow you there. Where Benedict Cumberbatch was concerned, I mean, I didn't have as well. I wouldn't say you were harsh on him either, but I felt like he kept it familiar enough. Kind of, he had little ticks that could remind you of Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Yeah.
That I thought were okay. He did those kind of high evil things that he'd do and stuff. So I was okay. Like, I didn't feel like he ruined the Grinch.
No,
not at all. That would be harsh to say, but I didn't feel like he butchered the Grinch or anything like that. No,
not at all. No, I definitely wouldn't say that.
No. The familiarity was a plus. I feel like he actually put a lot into that, studying wise, and like he's probably somebody who was moving around a lot, doing it, really being in character. Because I felt good about his Grinch. Yeah.
Like I said, I can't wrap my head around the casting. Period. Like it's not to say that people that were cast in the places they were bad at what they did. I don't understand the casting at all, because there really wasn't any big names other than Benedict. And usually most movies, voiceover work, animated or otherwise, you have a decent cast, for your main people, right? And I mean, there's not a lot of well-known child actors anymore. It's not like it used to be. I mean. So to have Cindy Lou as Justin Bieber, I mean, it's just it's not something that you could pull off, right? So I guess it being a very kid oriented movie and there being a lot of child dialogue, you're not gonna have an all-star cast of child actors.
Yeah, not necessarily, but there's people. I cannot think. Is Wanda Sykes the girl I'm thinking of? There's people out there who have amazing versatility in their voice when it comes to playing children and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And Wanda Sykes is good.
Yeah, I agree with you that the casting was light. I didn't even have that in my notes, but it feels like whoever was in arm's reach at the time was just in the movie. Like, it's very weird.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Pharrell Williams, I thought, okay, I was worried when I found out he was narrating, because I've never seen him narrate anything, I don't think. And he earned my concern. Like, oh my God. So I went out and I found out Barbara Harris and Mickey McGowan were the people who cast this movie. And I don't know why I had to know that, but I had to know that so I could say a name and just publicly shame them. Go home, you're drunk. So, like, okay, Grinch, let's pretend that all cartoons don't generally have, like you're talking about, that really solid cast. Let's just look at the Grinch. You have Boris Karloff, Anthony Hopkins, and you follow that with Pharrell fucking Williams?
Yeah. Well, and I think
in that lineage?
It's definitely, I think, a wrong choice. Again, it's not that he fucked it up. It's just that there could have been somebody more impactful. Even if you had, your usuals, your Morgan Freeman, your James Earl Jones. I mean, where narration is sort of a big deal, like, is a big part of some of the shit that they do, and they have amazing voices, right? So, but yeah, I think they could have done a lot better job. Something that was more impactful.
I wasn't impressed. I mean, I wouldn't say like he outright screwed it or anything like that, but I wasn't impressed. The Grinch narration always has that like weird bouncy warmth to it. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if that's anything you can pick up on what I mean by that, but it's always got this weird kind of bouncy warmth to it. It's Dr. Seuss, for God's sakes. And he didn't have that. He could have been narrating anything the way he narrated that. He could have been reading me back my takeout order.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think there was anything special about it at all.
No. That's what I say, that I just felt that they could have definitely found somebody that would have had more of an impact as a narrator.
Definitely. Another note that I can't organically work in, but I wrote down on my page here. How do you tuck your balls into your pants to cast Pharrell Williams? Sorry.
Okay, that was hard.
So, yeah. And I guess my very, very, very last thing. Why the mumble rap credits?
The mumble rap credits?
Yeah, during the credits they were playing like this weird takeoff of mumble rap.
Yeah, my credits were my credits were cut off.
Oh, okay. It felt like a really weird choice. It's not like there was a character in the movie it's not like the yak was like hip hop yak and he wore his baseball cap backwards. You know what I mean? There was no reason. There was no tangible reason to do that. It didn't relate to anything. It just freaked me right the fuck out. Like, just have music.
So do we have a like when did it release? Do we have
like
one?
A month ago or so? Let me check. I should have that right here.
So do we have 9th of November. Okay, so wow, that's a little early. Do we have a tally, a box office tally on them?
It wasn't doing great the last time I looked. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll look that up again. It's nominated for 4 awards, but they're not like notable awards. They're very awkward awards. Give me 1 second, and I will tell you.
Yeah, because I'd be curious to see where they're sitting in the box office. Because again, the masses speak. You know what I mean? Like, is this, all the things we've talked about? Is this stuff that everybody is going like? Why? Why is there another fucking Grinch movie? Why is Pharrell Williams? Why is you know what I mean? Like, are people seeing it and just going, holy fuck, and they're telling 10 of their friends, don't bother?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Even just the idea of the Grinch.
Yeah. I don't know what I caught, if I caught the opening weekend or something like that, but the total gross is like way up now. They have made $377.4 million box office off of that $75 million they put into it.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I think we're a little bit off on some of the stuff. Well, I'm off anyways with the opinion of why.
Well,
I download. I don't have a lot to do with my days, right? So for me, I love movies. So I mean, I'll anything that I can get my hands on, I'll watch for the most part. But I don't think that if I wasn't like that, I think I could have easily skipped watching The Grinch and not been too sad about that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. The number I had initially seen was opening. It only debuted to 67 million. So,
okay.
Now, with everything you just said being said, sorry, what was I going to say? I just had a total blank out moment there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who might have gone to see it either out of curiosity. Like, once you see a movie, you can never give your money. You can never get your money back and be like, I don't want that to count towards their total, So I think there's a lot of people who would have seen it out of curiosity, sort of, and who would have seen it just, or just to take the kids, just to be like, hey, we loved The Grinch when we were little. Is it worth $25 to find out? Let's see, I think that's something. I think a lot of people would have seen it to see it, right?
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, a lot of these remakes, it's like a train wreck. You don't want to see it, but can't help it. You can't help but stare.
Yeah, exactly. I think that probably drove a lot of people to see it too. I don't know if we're that off. That's what I was commenting on. I mean, I don't know if we're that off because we're being super nitpicky. I don't think there's any 5-year-old sitting there going, after Anthony Hopkins, was Pharrell Williams the best choice? And meanwhile, while the parents are sitting next to them going, no, put your Coke down. No, stop pinching your sister. I don't think they give a shit either.
No,
right?
No, and I mean, really, this particular Grinch, I definitely think was geared more to the younger generation. And again, absolutely not. They're not going to be sitting there, going, what the fuck are they talking about video games for? They're not going to go, what was Benedict doing? What was Pharrell doing? That's definitely an adult thing, but, I think most adults don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, the large majority of them. No, I don't think they do either. Some might have left there going, something was off, but I don't think most of them went home and made notes the way we did. I mean, the way I did, but you did too. You had thoughts. You had valuable thoughts on the subject.
I definitely had thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had to say about the Grinch. Can you believe it?
No. I figured this tirade was going to go on for another 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I thought you might be at least feeling that way, or that you were pretty sure it had already gone on for 3.5 hours.
No, this was actually a pretty short rant for you, so I'm proud of you. That's progress.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
I thought I had another Christmas-related question for you, and I know I did, but I seem to have lost it. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I wanted to talk about Christmas music.
Okay.
Because since you love Christmas, I know you love Christmas
I do.
music. Yes. So do you have a favorite, I want to talk about traditional songs and more contemporary stuff. So, I mean, do you have a favorite old-timey Christmas song?
No, I like, a lot of the classic ones. I mean, Walking in a Winter Wonderland, Silver Bells, Silent Night, stuff like that, just, some of the, I wouldn't say I have a particular favorite that I could just play over and over and over again.
Okay. I mean, there are some of those crazy old school, super traditional Christmas carols too. They're uber religious when you get into those. There's Christmas carols I realize I don't even know. So yeah, I mean, for me, probably for older style stuff, and this might be questionably older, but it's definitely old. Jingle Bell Rock, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that fits in there with some of the oldies but goodies.
Well, and I think and you mentioned that there's songs that you don't even you never heard of, or you didn't realize that there's that kind of variety. I mean, I've had around Christmas time and stuff. I mean, when I've been in a situation where it's sort of a family event to decorate the tree and stuff, and you pick a day and like a lot of the cable stations have their digital music that you can play, and I'll put on one of their Christmas channels and stuff like that. And I'm really surprised. It never ceases to amaze me the amount of Christmas carols that are out there. That you're not carols but songs. That I'm just listening to and I'm going, oh. That I don't place any sort of Christmas value to. Yeah. Right? Because to me it is the classics. It is, the Jingle Bells and the Deck the Halls and the Silent Nights and Little Drummer Boy and things like that, right? I mean, these are songs you grow up to, but today there's just as many Christmas songs as rock and roll or hip hop or what, you know what I mean? It's a genre. It's become an absolute genre.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even beyond that though too, I meant really old school Christmas carols, and to maybe a little more context that I don't go to church. I'm very widely known to not be a churchgoer.
Yeah.
I've long ranted my atheism on here more than once. But my wife is a Christian and does go to church, and once a year I'll go to church with her for their Christmas ceremony thing. Because they tend to put on whole like plays and little mini. She goes to like a mega church, so it's like it's a whole fucking thing. It's like a Broadway play when you go there.
Nice.
So so it's worthwhile, you know. So I go for that sometimes. And oh my god, like the Christmas carols, like I'm surprised I don't know. Like these songs are like 400 years old and you've never heard them. You know, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think of a really good example, but you kind of go down that, like, Away in the Manger and keep going down that path a lot further. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you come across some really, like, weird shit. I'm trying strongly to find a good example of these songs, but it's so hard because I don't know them until I hear them again the next year. Then I'm like, that's a fucking Christmas song? And yeah, like, it's all about, but these songs are almost, these are more songs about the birth of Jesus than they're really Christmas songs, almost. But how do you separate those two?
Well,
right?
but that's
When
the
it's
thing.
at a
Christmas
church?
was Christmas. I mean, as you know, the world has evolved and civilization and society has changed. I mean, it's less. Christmas is less about religion. It's less about the birth of Jesus and in Bethlehem and shit. Like, I mean, for you know, obviously, church, you know, for churchgoers, you know, that's a theme for them. But out in the stores, out in the public, I mean, yeah, religion's been taken out of everything, though, you know, in a big way. Mm-hmm. So, you know, because it offends people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you can still get away with your Away in the Mangers and stuff. That stuff you still see, but in somewhat larger usage and stuff, and the first Noel and stuff like that. But yeah. I don't know, like I just pulled up some old, and even stuff that like not you, but just as a normal person or whatever, you might not even think of, but you've heard like Good King Wenceslas, Wenceslaus or whatever. You know that song, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's like super traditional. According to this, that was written in like 1853.
Really?
Yeah. Then here's a slightly deeper cut for all y'all. Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. That's a Christmas carol from 1749.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's so many songs out there that, oh yeah, like there's one I come across every year and then I forget about it again. Oh come, Emmanuel.
Yep.
Yeah, like there was one I never think about in between. Like, it's amazing when you get in there and these like super strictly traditional Christmas carols. It's like, holy fuck, I guess I've never heard Christmas music. Sorry. Like, it's really surprising. For more modern stuff though, you said you bypass a lot of that, eh? You're not a big fan of some of the more modern Christmas music?
Yeah, so I wouldn't even have a clue, you know, to what's out there, what's popular, what's trending. Yeah, because to me it's again, I'm 41, right? I mean, I grew up on the classics, right? And you know, so when I put like a Christmas channel on, and stuff, it's more that I'm tuning out. Like, you can't obviously choose what you're, you know, what you're listening to, because it's also streaming or whatever. But yeah, I tune out anything that's not classic, I guess.
Okay. Meh. Fair enough. I guess I'll give some, by the time this comes out, there'll be 3 days before Christmas, I think. 4 days before Christmas. So I don't think anybody's actually going to latch on to my recommendations and run out and buy it just yet this Christmas. But two of my favorite modern Christmas albums are CeeLo's Magic Moment and Johnny Reed's Christmas. Okay. Both are just fucking awesome. They're upbeat, which I like, because too often modern Christmas albums are just like super downtrodden, like Christmas time is here, you know, it's just super. But these are really upbeat and really, they feel contemporary, and I really enjoy that about them. Johnny Reed's album I'm especially attached to, you might say, because I actually saw him, and it's the only time I've ever seen this. I saw him do a Christmas concert. So I actually went to like a nice theater and sat down, and he came out with a guitar and talked about Christmas memories and played Christmas songs all night. And it's the only true Christmas concert I've ever actually been to. So.
Well, and I enjoy Johnny Reed. I like him. So.
Okay. Well, I wasn't a big fan of the second Christmas album he did, but the first one he did was called just Christmas. I encourage you to check that out.
Yeah, I'm sure I can, find legal ways that are completely legitimate to listen to it.
Definitely. By all means. Yes. Did you just drop and then screw your microphone back on?
No, I kind of stretched and it made you can adjust your headphones. I have headphones, not just earbuds, so that's what the clicking sound was, is just the headphones expanding.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, there was a lot of weird clunky sounds. Oh well. So, yeah, if you're looking for Christmas albums, I guess that's that. Is there anything else Christmas related you feel like talking about? Oh wait, I have a word for you.
Oh, okay. A word for what?
Yes! Okay, so this is a new thing we're going to be doing. Yes, here, wow, I'm awake again. It feels like a season premiere. Okay, so this is a new thing that we're going to be doing this time around that involves using complete and utter bullshit to explain a word. Or a concept that you have no prior clue about whatsoever. So, yes. Ryan's going to be the first victim of this, and next week you will have a non-Christmas related word for me, right?
Okay.
There we go. So this week's word is oblation. Oblation. Let the bullshit begin.
Well, actually, the good thing about this word is, and it's really unfortunate that you picked a word I do know. So none of this is bullshit, but that's actually the fear of tinsel.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a tinsel phobia. So if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about the exact year, but I think it was sort of one of these phobias. I mean, with each passing year, they're coming up with new names for new phobias. I mean, people are scared of fucking everything these days. But yeah, I believe it was around 1972 that it sort of started coming more out because of it was like 1970 actually when tinsel was first invented. And so what it sort of, I guess it's not just tinsel, but it's garland, like some of the different colored, more sparkly garland. So it's basically lights flashing. The fear is because there's glittery shit on your tree, and it screws with people's eyes and causes a lot of anxiety. And it almost has that strobe light effect on people. It has caused seizures. Okay. So yeah, So that's what it is. It's a fear of tinsel.
Wow. Okay. I by the way, my new favorite segment on the show. I'm just gonna say that. First of all, before I tell you what it means, first, can you use that in a sentence?
No.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I could, but I think that I've said that all that I'm prepared to say about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tinsel was invented in 1610, by the way.
All right. Yeah, I was close. I told you I might be a little off on the year.
Yeah. Okay, and you were a little off. Yeah, fair enough. So, oblation is, generally speaking, and the context I chose it in is giving a gift or the gift that you're giving to someone. In a strictly hardcore English way, it's actually a thing presented to or offered to a god.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, so you were close.
I was close,
so,
yeah.
But for the sake of the Christmas spirit, it's a gift that you give a person, because that's the context I stumbled upon it in. So,
okay. Yeah.
That is my
close.
new favorite thing.
Yeah, I was close.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were so close. So, yeah, okay, now that that's out of the way, I think that might be all the Christmas things we have. Do you have anything else to talk about?
Christmassy? No, I mean, no, not really. I mean, we are you done Christmas shopping? Have you done your Christmas shopping?
Oh, good question. That's a valid question, especially since we've been very frank about when we're recording this. We don't have much time left. I've done my online Christmas shopping. But I have one more thing to pick up in stores.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. So how about you?
Well, this year I actually decided to not buy Christmas presents and just buy liquor and be drunk. Um,
Good call.
no, I decided to make some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, I
nothing
decided to
wrong with that at
go.
all. I know crafty people. Yeah.
Well, I'm just, right now, I mean, I'm not working right now. So, money's not what it normally would be this time of year for me. And so I just kind of felt like, I'm not a fan of the Christmas gift thing, like especially for kids. I feel that for gifts from one adult to another, are useful, you know, um, it's something, maybe it's a new toy that somebody really wants. Like one year I had a remote control plane that I wanted. I gave gifts. I gave somebody like one of them fancy ass KitchenAid mixers.
Yeah.
So it's sort of stuff that you're gonna use, and it's stuff that you want. But with kids, I mean, Naomi and I went Christmas shopping for the kids a few days ago, and it was just like, we're pushing the cart around, and it's just like she's just dropping toy after toy after toy, and I'm just going, this fucking junk. She did really good though. Actually, she bought a bunch of clothes for both of them. So
Oh.
I mean, and I mean, what fucking kid wants clothes for Christmas? However, I mean, the bulk of it, but it's just like so many kids. I remember a girl I was dating years ago. Her kids wanted Buzz Lightyear. Right, so her son wanted the Buzz Lightyear fucking toy, and her daughter wanted these twin dolls, and this was like the first of their kind, and they like the dolls talk to each other, and you you could buy all the accessories where you could feed them, and you could feed them different foods, and they'd react differently, and I mean they were pretty high tech at the time, and So they were big. I think the dolls were over $100. A couple $100 maybe. The Buzz Lightyear was close to $100 because it was very trendy at the time. It was one of the Toy Story had just come out or whatever it was, and so and the kids, of course, Christmas morning they open these presents. They're fucking absolutely excited about getting these things, and 2-3 weeks later, shoved in a pile. So for me, it's I think it's important that people spend money, when it comes to kids. I'm not a fan of it, and I think, if you're going to be buying Leap Pad comes out with all these educational toys, which I think are brilliant, right? I find them quite pricey, but you know what? They teach.
Yeah.
I think that, go buy your kid a toy, but then take 2 of theirs and throw them out. Or donate them.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like it's so for me with a kid. So this year, like I said, money just not being what it normally would be. I decided to when's this going to be aired? Can I say what I got? I don't think she's gonna,
Friday. It's gonna be aired Friday. Yeah.
Yeah,
21st.
I don't think she's going to have an opportunity to listen to it. So what I did was a lot of years ago I went to one of these home shows and and I got these framed canvas things that you print them. So you print they're pieces of canvas that you put into your printer, and it prints off pictures.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So I did a couple for the kids. I gave them. I made one. They're the same thing, and it's just some of the pictures that have me and them and their mom and everything, and then I just put like family, right?
Okay.
So something kind of sweet, whatever. They can hang them up in their room. And then for Naomi, I did 2, and one of them again just a few pictures of us, and the background is a lightning storm, and then I put in text on there. I said, love and life is a storm. Together we become the rainbow.
Aww.
Yeah, I know I'm a fucking sweetheart. And
I don't. Only half sarcastically.
And then the other one, it was funny. I've got this weird fascination. The Vicks inhalers?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I've got a weird fascination. I love these fucking things. Like, I will snort them all day long. and I just love them. I don't know why. And so she has a picture of me that she took with my phone, so I have it, of using her feet to stick a Vicks inhaler, one of her feet to stick a Vicks inhaler up my nose. And I got
hot.
Yeah, and I got a goofy look on my face, and so I printed that off, and then I just put the little caption saying, love is like a nose. Sometimes you pick it, sometimes you get picked. Or yours gets picked or something like that. So just something goofy and funny or whatever. And so I think I think they're gonna love it. I think they're gonna really appreciate it and shit. And so that was And I don't really have any people other than that. Like I don't have family that I'd buy gifts for other than Naomi and the kids. So this year was simple.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, fair enough. And I kind of have I don't want to say I have the opposite problem of not having many people to buy for, but my father and his girlfriend have been together several years now, the better chunk of a decade.
Yeah.
Let's say that. So we're a big shared happy family now, right? But her family is really big.
Okay.
I never had that problem. But I know all her children really well and stuff like that. But this year, what wound up happening is everybody's in the same boat you described, really. So we're really doing a very small, very, very low-profile Christmas as well over on this end. It's really, I can completely relate to the whole, like you were saying, just lost your job, this and the other thing. Everybody. There's other people doing the exact same thing, just kind of doing a low-profile Christmas. I don't even know what kind of huge get-together we're going to have or anything like that. It might just be running around looking at Christmas lights and things like that. So, playing it quite low profile here. I bought more material gifts. I didn't put such a loving, handcrafted touch into my gifts for my wife. I mean, I'm a terrible human being. You must not be a writer. You must have spare time. You must have spare time.
Actually, I came up with the idea in about 3 minutes, and then I opened.
Did you?
And then I opened up Photoshop, and I had them done in about 10 minutes.
Okay, well then you didn't put much thought into it, I guess.
No, but
now you gotta make sure she does it.
I've always had really, really great ideas when it comes to things like that, and I mean, especially like romantic ideas. I had tossed around the idea years and years ago about opening. You've seen the movie Hitch.
Yes.
Okay, so now this was sort of on a similar line, but I was going to open up a business that sold romance packages. So basically, people that just can't come up with really fucking epic romantic shit for their partners. As hard as they try, they just some people just don't get it, and they can't wrap their heads around it. But that doesn't take away the need for it and the desire to do it. So I was actually tossed around the idea of opening up a business that planned a romantic evening, romantic vacation, romantic weekend, and sky was the limit, to something simple to something extravagant, right? So I never followed through with that, but I had a lot of people that had said, because I used to do some real crazy shit for my ex-wife. People were always absolutely blown away when she'd be like, you know what Ryan did for me? And people were like almost sick to their stomach going, how come I can't find a guy that does that? Right? I had a lot of people that were just really impressed going, why don't you do something with that? And so it was an idea that I had thought, but at the time I was, I think I was just starting my landscape company and I was focused on that.
Yeah, fair enough. I too am a very lovey, romantic, mushy person. So I get zero laughs at you for that. I definitely think something like that would work. I feel like you'd have a wealthy clientele who has the money for that kind of thing to be like, hey, plan my weekend, But I think that's a cool idea.
But even something like, and again, romance isn't always, it's not always something that is big and extravagant. I mean, you can sit there. And if you're going to, and really, I mean, it was as simple as, okay, well, what's her, okay, you want to say, what's her favorite restaurant? Or what's her favorite food? So you pick and it can take 10 minutes to plan and 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes to set up. So you go, okay, so you call up Luigi's fucking romantic Italian restaurant, you make reservations, okay? Then you get you tell them, hey, have a bottle of wine waiting for this table for them, and then you have a florist drop off a dozen flowers, okay? So this is what you're going to pay for. You want to do this, you're going to pay for it anyways, right?
Yeah.
So you throw on an extra $40-$50, whatever. I mean, I'm just spitballing, but you throw an extra $40-$50 on top of it for the consultation fee. So it's not, it can be as simple as $150-$200 night, which is what it would cost anyways, more or less, to go out just for a nice simple dinner. That's a special, not just, hey, let's go to the keg, but something that's been thought out and planned with a couple bells and whistles, favorite bottle of wine waiting at the table with some flowers, a dozen roses or whatever, carnations or something, sitting on the table with a nice card, right? And so, like I said, it can go from simple to, you're getting a week in the Swiss Alps, and every day it's going to be a different activity with a different, and of course, you're paying for it. So, I mean, it's definitely something I think that would still work, but, I watch too many movies and I sleep all day, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's kind of like being a highly specialized personal assistant on call, sort of like just for single use, pay-per-use personal assistant. Yeah,
but I mean, it would have to be in the hours of me not sleeping.
Yeah, of course.
Which would be hard to organize because I don't have a sleep schedule. I wake up and then I go, okay, well, you know what? It's nap time.
You just collapse when the mood strikes you.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, I guess a cringy but almost natural segue would be to say, if you have strong feelings on Ryan's business plan, if you want to be the Shark's Tank to his brilliant idea, I don't know, maybe you have a similar business, maybe you want to create that, I don't know, or maybe you have something to say about anything else we've talked about on the show today. Maybe you'd like to tell me how I'm too anal retentive about the Grinch. I don't know, but we have a phone number where you can.
I tell you? Can I tell you that you're anal retentive about the Grinch?
Well, no, your opinion doesn't count.
Oh, okay, that's right.
That's. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and give us a call because we still have a phone number over here at the Total Stickcast, and you can reach us at 1-587-997-4697. That's 1-587-997-4697. And if you give us a call, we're going to be playing your messages throughout Season 2. So go ahead and leave us something. Leave us a complete rant. It doesn't even have to do with anything we talked about today. Just tell us how your girlfriend left you last week or so. I don't know. But just call us and rant. Tell us how overly busy Christmas is and how much you just want it to be over with. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. So yeah, there's that. We'll probably be doing podcast recommendations as well, which we did last season too. That's not new. We'll probably be doing podcast recommendations, maybe movie recommendations, Ryan. Something you're interested in that you want to recommend. But I won't put you on the spot for that just now. I'll phone in my podcast recommendation by saying that I would be amiss if I didn't recommend It's a Podcast, Charlie Brown, because I'm on the last episode of it. So, and that has everything to do with Christmas, because we're being almost as anal retentive as we just were about the Grinch, about It's Christmas Time Again, Charlie Brown. So, yeah. So that's a program hosted by Bill Pepper, and I recorded that with him way too early one Sunday morning. And it's, probably not for everybody unless you're super interested in the Peanuts or super interested in me. Because a lot of the feedback I've gotten is, how can two people talk for 2.5 hours about a 22-minute TV special? And to them I say, you haven't seen us try.
They should do a 2-hour animated movie about you guys talking about a 22-minute animated show.
I'd respond, but I'm no longer here. I'm making that happen. Yes, that's a brilliant idea.
I thought so.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, you can find them pretty much wherever you find us. If you're listening to us on a platform, it's a podcast. Charlie Brown is probably also on that platform. Just like us, you can find them on Stitcher, Podium. Not Podium. That's the one place they're not. What's wrong with me? On Stitcher, Spotify is what I was trying to say. Apple, any of those wonderful places. But I shouldn't tell you that you can find us there because we have a fancy new outro that's going to tell you all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's exciting.
You'll get to hear that. Yeah, you'll get to hear that shortly. Ryan, you haven't even heard our intro or outro from season 2.
I haven't heard the new stuff yet, no.
No. There's been a lot going on over here, and I've been sick. I've been too sick to share. I've barely been able to coordinate that because I had to get it done before the end of the week. So that's from a awesome and talented guy whose name I don't have in front of me right now. So again, shit gets super awkward. Yeah, Larry G. Jones. There we go. So yes, our outro is from Larry G. Jones. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that when you get to hear it. You also got to hear him in the intro. So there's that, and we'll be back again next week with another thrilling episode, if you're still awake. We should just end every episode by screaming, "Wake up!" as loud as we can to fucking wake people up that fell asleep listening to this. But yeah, so I think that's about it. You got anything else to say?
No, I think we covered some good stuff today, and I think, for season 2, episode 1, I think we did some good work, and other than that, I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday season. Remember, if you do drink, do not drive.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Way to say that. God, you ended that so much more professionally than me. I'm so jealous. I'm going to repeat all those things and just edit them in so it sounds like I said them.
That you should. Yeah, just edit me right out.
Okay, perfect. So I guess that brings us to closing time. So that means bye!
All right, cool.
Thank you for joining us on the Total Stickcast. The Total Stickcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including Google Play, Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher. We appreciate your ratings and reviews as they help other people find us and help us to grow. Please take the time to let us know what you think.
The Total Stickcast is hosted and produced by Paul Johnson and features Ryan Blair and Terry Savage. You can connect with Paul Johnson directly on Twitter at OffTheLP or at everythingpaul.net. That's everythingpaul.net. You can find the Total Stickcast on Twitter and Facebook at Total Stickcast. You can also reach us by email at TotalStickShow@gmail.com. My name is Larry G. Jones, and this has been the Total Stickcast. Thank you for making us a part of your day.
TS Total Stick Podcast Network.